Hey folks, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Before we get started though, real quick, those of you who have not been looking at the Steam store page and the updates for the game, now might be a good time to start paying attention because something big this way comes. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Anyway, back to the custom scenario. So today we're going to try out a scenario that recently came up called Shyness, also known as SCP-9060 by Lady Ethereal. Finally, after decades of trial and error, of death and despair, SCP-9060 has been terminated. Humanity can breathe easily knowing they will not be subjected to the stoppable horror of the Shy Guy. Oh, that's the guy who doesn't want to be looked at, right? I hated that one from SCP Containment Breach. He freaked me out. Anyway, they couldn't be more wrong, of course. Little did they know there was an ancient pathogen hiding inside the pale creature. Now it has free, and anyone can become a cognito hazard. Well, ain't that just lovely? We're gonna be playing with a virus today. ATP boosts genetic equipment, Aquasite extremophile, and symptostasis seem fine to me. Oh, fine, we'll do Mega Brutal again for the heck of it. Why? No, not starting in the United States. I regret everything. It's only fair. I guess I should have expected that. Alright, at last. SCP-9060, the world is safer from unrelenting horror, but little do they know, perhaps one shouldn't tamper with what they don't or can't understand. Yep. Alright, so now we have this. Is everyone going to be like literally begging everyone else like, don't look at me, and then if they do, they're just going to rip each other's face off? Is that what's going to happen here? I suspect it might! What do we have here? Host jump. The virus transmits via the observation of the host's face. Simple but quite effective. See, this is where being like, what is it, autistic is actually really an advantage, alright? It's an evolutionary advantage to avoid this exact scenario because these are people who don't like looking at people's faces and making eye contact, if they're far on the spectrum anyway, right? So it turns out being autistic is great! Anyway, should have gone with that. Corpse jumping when a host dies. The individual who saw their face becomes infected as well. Okay, so now we have ways of it actually starting to multiply. Great, cool, love it. Direct observation. People who see the host's face in public contract the illness. Isn't that kind of already what we've got with host jump? Whatever, it's just another version of the same thing. Old photos. Wait, if you actually look at their face in photographs, now you get infected? Well, that just seems mean. But okay. Social media, images of the host's face can circulate online. Yeah, seems like the same idea, but more viral. Okay, well, we're gonna go for direct observation for sure. I don't even need to look at the symptoms. Why? Because we're starting in the United States, and anything that helps me in urban environments will be a good thing for me. Symptoms, we have anxiety. I mean, yeah, I get a certain amount of anxiety just seeing this freaking guy wandering around. Let's see what happens from that. Depigmentation, less melanin production, so become pale creatures. Terrifying. Also paranoia. Makes sense to me. Gotta hide your face, stay away from everybody. Which really is just us doing a courtesy. Don't look at me, you'll die. I'm trying to warn you. Why don't you get it? Anyway, viral instability, genetic reshuffle, genetic hardening are all gonna be options, but then we have terrorist groups? Okay, well now I'm demonetized, thanks for that one. Malicious organizations seek to spread 9060 by sending a volley of host images on random sites. Oh, you jerks! You're literally just trying to get people killed. This is like trying to get a death note out there or something, you know? It's just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, the name is deserved. It is in fact what you are. You're all horrible people and you should be ashamed of yourselves. What other transmissions do I want to go for, though? Nosy Nancy? I mean, yeah, Nosy Nancy probably is the best thing to get right now. I could go for the old photos, but poor and rural communities is not what I benefit from right now. So I think we just go ahead and pick that up. And yeah, there's air and water transmission, but I don't need that right now either. What I really care about is just getting out of the gosh dang United States, but we need critical mass here. Now that I got 2 levels of this, I suppose going for social media could make a little bit of sense. Weaponized curiosity is now on the menu when a host shows symptoms. Uninfected people are more likely to observe them out of concern and curiosity. And this is why you don't care about your fellow man. See, the lesson we're learning here is that we all should become antisocial freaks. That's what we should do. It's only sensible, it turns out. Let's go for that social media. Why, by the way, that would be water and air, I don't know. I feel like if anything, social media should be your spore burst. I guess anyone with an internet connection could find a photo. We're getting reports of a mystery illness in the US. Symptoms are odd, very familiar. Going to keep an eye on it. Something about it makes my skin crawl. You know, I've never really liked the phrase skin crawl. Something about that seems a lot creepier than it is. I mean, yeah, I know exactly what we're talking about. It's that weird, like, rushing tingle feeling up your skin and stuff. I get it. It's just like, why make it sound scarier as if my skin somehow learned how to crawl? That's terrifying. Anyway, reports are increasing. People acting strange, looking wrong. Health officials have yet to address it. Health officials, my mistake, have yet to address it. Whatever it is, it's getting worse. Requesting further resources towards surveillance. Yes, more resources for surveillance. That would be the best way to go for sure. All right, anything I can get here because we're kind of low on DNA and it's bothering me. We're getting around in North America, so thank you, NAFTA. Now we've got Canada and Mexico. That's working. Everyone became sad. Well, that works. The host enters a period of inexplicable depression and seeks isolation, lowering infectivity, but harder to cure. Cognitive scrambling, electrical activities from tendrils cause mild seizures. This seems like it belongs from the Neurax worm, but okay. Schizophrenia is also going to be a thing. Inflamed dopamine receptors, fragment mental processes. Autophagia can bite or partially devour their own body. Well, that's extremely infective, so I feel like I have to pick it up even though I don't necessarily like it, and it's going to lead to cannibalism. Yep, all right. Malnutrition. The host metabolism increases, resulting in a decrease in fat reserves and a more gaunt look. Yes, very skinny. We're all turning into Slender Man. Ah, crap. It's so much worse than we thought. I thought we had it under control, but the cases keep compounding. Someone get the O5. Immediately. 05? What the frick's the 05? I don't even know. Grab some old photos. We're going to start getting into some of these rural and poorer regions here pretty soon. Time to start boosting that one up. Oh, good. The entire United States is now looking very sickly. It's too much time on social media, man. That's all it is. Too much time sitting around on your phone. We all became gaunt, pale monsters. Family photos, same basic thing, infectivity. It doesn't say it actually increases more in the poor and rural, but I kind of assume it does. Popularity boom. That's a pretty good amount of infectivity. But what else do we got here? I'm looking for anything else that would be more effective here, because those are getting kind of expensive. We could go for the cannibalism. It's just a lot of severity, you know? A lot of severity. And there's no drug resistance or anything along those lines, so that's not going to help me. Corpse jumping would be a good thing to get, I suppose. But meh. All right, we'll go for the family photos. That leads to I Spy. There's clearly something here in the middle if we want to just get a lot of DNA over there. But like with Mega Brutal and Genetic Drift, everything's going to be getting prohibitively expensive here pretty soon, so I'm not sure that's going to be my best way to go for that much longer. The Veil falls. Faced with overwhelming numbers, the SCP Foundation unanimously chooses to reveal themselves to the Republic. That does not sound like the sort of thing the SCP Foundation would do under any circumstance, even if everything was out of control. But okay, we'll run with it. The revolutionary move was done to raise awareness of its spread. There are other ways of getting, surely, the movement out there besides revealing your shadow organization. One would certainly think. Anyway, I'm going to grab the corpse jumping before I forget, and we could go for... I guess I'll go for weaponized curiosity and stuff, but we need to get some other stuff going here. Probably time to start thinking about getting cannibalism online. Never mind, there it is. Whether I like it or not, I did think about it, and yea, verily, it happened. I want $1 million right now! Well, you know, with this many bubbles, that feels like $1 million bucks. I'll take it. Elongation. The DNA mutation results in the host body growing taller and stretching out of proportion. Very Slendermanish. Insanity. Harder to cure. All of that is wonderful. We still have no cure progress, which is really bizarre. So I'm not actually that desperate to get severity up and running. Let's get I Spy. Let's get popularity boom. I want to find out what's in the middle, okay? I know it's probably not actually a good use of DNA, but I want to know. Threat level increases. The true scale and highly infectious nature of SCP-9060 has raised enormous concerns about humanity's survival. With help from the Foundation, cure efforts intensify drastically. Well, anything from 0 would be an intense increase, for sure. All right, let's get going viral. There we go. Wow, look at that. You're a star. Better yet, even more people see the host's face. This leads to live events. Oh, good. Twitch gets everyone killed. Imagine thousands of people watching you and millions more from the screen completely unaware of the danger they're in. Astronomical infectivity increase. I wouldn't call this astronomical personally. It's a lot, but astronomical, that's a pretty severe thing to say, okay? No. Let's go over level genetic hardening. We got a little time to work with. The cure hasn't even started for some reason, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Waiting to see things like Greenland start happening. That's kind of the big issue. New Guinea is also surprisingly off of the menu. I'm not sure how that's happened. No one's closed down a single port. No, we have one closed in South Africa. They're just now getting wise. Look how much DNA we're getting, by the way. It does feel like a lot. Hair loss, permanent hair loss, that should be enough for a massive sanity decrease. Sharp ends, fingernail sharp end. They're starting to work on that cure. It is going fast now. We got New Guinea. I'm really worried about Greenland. Russia just shut down, so Norway is kind of my only hope here. But we've got to start ramping this up. So let's get things like insanity going. Let's get elongation. That leads to triggered. Upon being observed, the host enters into a state of considerable distress before seeking out the observer. The deserver? I was going to say the deserver, but you know what? He does deserve what he's about to get. Can we please get to Greenland? Does anyone believe in boats anymore? Hello? Oh my gosh, the cure goes so fast all of a sudden. So fast. There it Yes! All right, grab this. What else we got? I'm a little worried that we're not going to have enough DNA to survive this now. We could go for some genetic reshuffles. What else do we have here? Hallucinations. Occipital lesions created causing severe hallucinations. Lack of awareness might cause injuries. Blah, blah, blah. Desperation. Activation of sympathetic or thetic? Either way, nervous system results in an intense fight or flight response. Deep-seated need for vindication. Dysphoria. When seen, the host endures a severe migraine. I think that's also misspelled. When the pain centered on the face. I felt like my face was being ripped out of my skull. These are all prohibitively expensive on Mega Brutal, and I'm starting to think that this is not going to work out well for me. Aggression is going to be an option. Slowing cure research. Okay. Recklessness. And then sobbing. Dehydration. This does not seem like a good pickup. Let's go for the aggression. I'm going to go for the aggression, trying to slow down that cure just a smidge, but I honestly don't think it matters because we have nowhere near enough lethality for this to work. I'm going to have to start getting things like some genetic reshuffles, but guess what? I don't have enough DNA. So that's going to be an issue, and I think we're about to see ourselves getting... Whoa, we got a load of DNA for free. Okay, pick those up. Slow it down, reset a tiny bit. Doesn't even matter. Yeah, we're still going to lose this one. Okay, so first off, I think that I'm just going to go ahead and restart and just try this one again. But no, do not go for all of that infectivity. That was completely unnecessary. I just wanted to see what's in the middle, okay? Curiosity and all that stuff. It did warn me at this third one right here that curiosity was going to get people killed. Well, I went for it anyway, but now I know. So the big issue is just getting into gosh dang Greenland and trying to keep the severity at a reasonable level, because once the cure starts, it is extremely fast. So let's just go ahead and kind of get back to where we were. Oh, I'm an idiot! What am I doing? We had a spore burst! I was fine, it turns out. I was completely fine, and I should have just done that. Dumb, 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 dumb. Should have done it. Oh well, whatever. Yell at me in the comments if you want. I probably deserve what I'm about to get. Alright, so we've reached a point now. The cure is beginning. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on things like insanity and stuff a little bit early. We're not in Greenland yet. I need to get into... Well, I just got into Morocco, so we're good to go. Let's go ahead and pick this up. That should take care of it, right? Yes, there we go. Alright, so we're there. So we are ramping up lethality just a little bit faster, but admittedly still a little on the slow side for my taste, considering how fast this cure is going. The timing of this might still be a little bit off. What else can we do? We could go for recklessness. I'm just trying to get that lethality up there somehow. Hallucinations might help a little bit. There's going to be something hidden here that's going to be hidden behind hallucinations. I don't feel like we're going to get enough lethality, if I'm completely honest with you. I feel like the lethality amount we're getting is kind of too little too late. And that cure is still going way too fast. Like, yeah, the stats aren't very strong here, and all of a sudden I'm completely out of gas and DNA. Which is weird, because I feel like I had been making a pretty great amount up until this point, and then all of a sudden just suddenly just like turned off the tap. Well, there's sobbing, that's great. So maybe you have to ramp up heavily on things like the viral instability? That might be what you end up needing to do to survive this. We could try it. At this point, I think it's kind of my only Hail Mary approach. See if we can get something. The end is nigh. The Foundation has officially declared an XK class end of the world scenario. Also misspelled. Social order is beginning to break down, but cure efforts remain strong. Well, dang it. I would have liked to have believed that it was going to stop, but it's fine. There's hallucinations. What does that lead to? Endurance test. Hosts will pursue victims in a straight line. Regardless of distance or obstacles, death by exhaustion or being killed en route is likely. So people literally just bash themselves into the wall. Got it. If only that would work in SCP Containment Breach, I'd be a lot happier, but it doesn't. Yeah, we're getting like almost no DNA from killing people, which I'm finding distressing. We should be getting a lot more than this. All right, well, there's a whole bunch of DNA, so I can make use of it. What do we have here? Panic attacks. Upon killing their victims, hosts experience a prolonged state of anxiety and delirium, causing lapses as in judgment. Not really good enough for what I need. All right, we don't have a choice but to go for a couple levels of genetic reshuffle, unfortunately, and just try to reset this and buy myself time. Reinfecting people is not the issue. It's purely a matter of actually getting people killed enough, and I really don't think we have enough lethality built up in this scenario for this to work. That's kind of the problem. Huh. So if going this far down the tree only gets me this much lethality, can we actually even win? Is really my question. That's kind of hard to do. I think you have to go down this endurance test. Have to. So I need to have enough DNA stored up that I can pick these up when I'm ready to pull the trigger, or I need to rely very heavily on things like viral instability in order to make this work. All right, one more try. All right, they've started working on the cure now. I'm going to trust that I can still get around as needed. Let's go for triggered. Let's go for hallucinations. Let's go for desperation and aggression. Still trying to slow a few things down. Greenland and Morocco are the only two countries that still remain, unfortunately. There's Morocco, which means we can go ahead and pick up the rest, but I'm going to focus instead on getting recklessness and endurance tests, trying to ramp up that lethality a little bit faster. I did go heavily in viral instability this time. 1 level of genetic hardening, trying to get me a little bit of speed. There's the endurance test. Okay, that leads to consumption. Victims will be thoroughly consumed by the host, leaving nothing behind. Now see, there's the lethality we're looking for. So that's where it starts ramping up. Is really what it's going to come down to. That's what it's going to come down to. We need to have that. Cognitive scrambling doesn't help me. The problem is, on Mega Brutal, I think that this is just not going to be quite possible, just because, again, that is such a fast cure. But there's a consumption that would lead to gastric hemorrhage. Overconsumption of victims puts too much strain on the digestive system, causing hemorrhaging and internal bleeding. Okay, I mean, the viral instability has worked, though. We saved ourselves probably about 100 some of DNA from all of this alone pretty recently. I can still pull the trigger on Greenland if I want to. Let's just do it so we can say that that's done. But yeah, I mean, like, unless... I don't know. Maybe we can barely buy enough time. I can try buying some genetic reshuffles. I don't know that it's going to be enough here, but we're definitely making more progress than we did last time. I need 38 DNA for the next one. We'll get a big boost in DNA once we do hit 100% cure, so, like, maybe. Let's try resetting that again. Get back down there, almost, 113, let's reset, buy some time. The end is nigh, it's not gonna be enough, but only barely. There's just not enough ways to combat the cure is what it's gonna come down to. Oh, just not. Let's go for sobbing, panic attacks, that would lead to remorse. So, like, if there was something on this path right here that slowed down the cure, then this would make sense. But, like, it's so little lethality, why would I ever go down this route? Unless there's something killer at the end here. Which there might be, but, like, again, the only thing I care about is something that stops the cure. That's all that would matter here. Suicide? No. See, that's not going to be enough. That's not enough. So I don't think that this scenario is quite balanced for Mega Brutal. The Foundation prevails. It's set to be eradicated. Yeah, how fun. We made definitely more progress. Whoa. Somehow we managed to Wait, why are we mass reinfecting? Hold the phone on. Is the corpse jumping actually somehow still making this work? No. There's no way it's gonna work. SCP-9060 is destined to eradicate humanity. Man, we've had whiplash. Humanity is saved. Humanity is doomed. It's literally gonna come down to ticks. It's gonna come down to ticks of the game. When is the next cure versus when is the next reinfection? No way! You can't, I can't believe this is about to work. No. No. Wow, okay, either that bugged, or that is absolutely hilarious, and the corpse jumping was so unbelievably effective that we actually out-infected the cure? No. I don't think I've ever seen that before, and I've been doing Plague Inc. for a very, 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 very long time. Okay, well, we won, amazingly. 371 days, 90% cure progress, it says. 90%? Yeah, I guess eventually. Sure, why not? Yeah, okay. 2 stars, 55,529 points. It actually is a pretty good scenario. I think that it actually does it's a pretty cool idea. It's a novel idea taking on something that already is very familiar from the SCP games and stuff like that. Sure, that's great. The big issue really is just a little bit of the balancing. There's a lot of focus on the infectivity. We found a path that mostly works. I think toward the end, the lethality needs to be just upped a little bit, and I'm talking like 5%. 5-10% increase in lethality for those end state symptoms, and that would probably be enough. And on the right side with that lethality that leads towards, ending themselves, I feel like if you just included 1 or 2 symptoms there that just would reset the cure a little bit, kind of like aggression did, that would also be enough. You do that, and even on Mega Brutal, this is absolutely a winnable scenario. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I am going to give it a thumbs up because I think it's pretty well done, and at very least, it has a lot of customization, and you got to appreciate that because it's hard to find these days, but when I see it, it makes me very happy. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell. Stay tuned because something cool is going to happen very soon, and I will see you guys next time.